All right, welcome. Today's is our first video in our Excel 2016 series. Today, I'm going to teach you how to create and manage Excel files. Let's go ahead and right now I have Excel started. I went down to my window icon on my lower left-hand side and clicked on that and found Excel from my applications. It's under E. With Excel open, let's go ahead and explore some things. Excel first opens in the home and the backstage view, and it will give some basic options for some templates and your most recent applications opened. Let's go ahead and click on the new on the right hand side. Your version may look a little different than my Excel simply because I am using the Office 365 version, which continually updates automatically from Microsoft. If you're using the desktop version of 2016, your buttons may look different. So just go ahead and hang on and watch, and when we come together, things will start to make more sense. If we go underneath the New tab, we can search for some online templates. Let's go ahead and type in the search bar expense and see what Excel has for us. Sure enough, they've come up with some templates such as monthly personal budget, monthly company budget, personal expense calculator, monthly college expenses for students. And if we scroll down over on the right-hand side, we see even more templates that we could use. These are incredibly helpful when working with Excel. So instead of needing to stylize something, you can actually just automatically use a template and start modifying it. All right. Let's go back to our Home tab. What we're going to do today is we are actually going to start and create a brand new workbook in Excel by using an external text file. Now remember, a blank workbook is the entire Excel file. A worksheet is an individual sheet inside the Excel file. So let me show you how to create a new Excel file from a Word template. Let's go ahead and go over to our Open tab. Here we are going to go ahead and browse and find those files that we downloaded. Now, if you're with my class, you should have gone into the DIT working shared drive for your class period and downloaded the Excel project files under the folder Farm. So I'm going to go navigate to my Excel files under Farm. I'm going to double click on it. And right now, if you notice, I'm only seeing the Excel files that I have. Well, I need to see a text file. You remember from Word, the way we did this was we went to the lower right-hand corner and we changed it from all Excel files to all files. When I do this, now I see a bunch more files. We want to create a brand new Excel workbook using the file called customer list. It's a text document. So I'm going to select customer list and click open. Excel does some thinking and it pops up this dialog box. It's a text import wizard. The top, you'll notice we're going to go through 3 steps. Steps 1 of 3, it looks a lot like our import wizard for Word. We have to choose the type of file that would best describe our data. It's delimited. Delimited means that each word is separated by either a tab or a comma, okay? It is not fixed width. Ours is delimited. In the 2016 MOS exam, it will explain to you and say whether it is delimited or a fixed width file. Our data does not have headers. So right below on step 1, you can click and uncheck that the data has headers. Again, in the 2016 Moss exam, it will state whether your file has headers or not. So make sure you read the instructions carefully. It gives us a preview of our file right here. So now we're going to go next. Now this tab lets you set the delimiters, which is the separators of our file contents, okay? So our delimiter for this file is tab. Again, in the 2016 Moss exam, it will state whether it's semicolon, commas, space, or other. We are going to keep tab selected. Down below, we have a data preview. So it looks like it's going to separate our individuals by first name, last name, address, city, and state. Now we can go next. And now we're on step 3 of 3. This screen lets you select a column and select the data format. So if we know what type of data it is, whether it's numbers, dates, or just text, we can actually specify that. We're going to keep it as general because each one of these columns is a different number format. And we'll click Finish. Excel does its magic, and voila, here you go. Now we have an Excel file that's already made with 5 different columns, and it looks like over 82 rows. All right. If we would have had to type this in manually, it would have taken us forever. Now, anytime you input data, you want to take a look to make sure that your information has been inputted correctly. Looks like our import did pretty good, except for I do see some mistakes. So let's go ahead and fix those. Under row 4, it looks like Helia Arahu, her name was not split. It looks like the address ended up in B, the city and the state ended up in C, where they should have been separated. So we can fix this a couple different ways. Let's go ahead and fix the city and state first. I can select the city and go up to my clipboard on my Home tab and click Cut. Move over to D4. Put my cursor inside that formula bar and click Paste. Okay. I can also do it another way. If I want to cut and paste, let's go back to C4. And on my keyboard, I'm going to do Control X for cut. I'm going to move my cursor over to E4 and go Control V for paste. And there we go, we cut and pasted. I'm going to use the same technique with B4. I'm going to use my keyboard, Control X for cut. Use my cursor to click over to C4 and Control V for paste. Now we need to separate out the name here. So again, I can select the name using my cursor, go up to my clipboard and click on my scissors to cut. Click in the correct cell B4, go back over to paste and click paste. And now it's separated correctly. Let's go ahead and fix Bill Gates' address as well. Looks like his address, 48 Summer House, needs to be moved over to column C. I'm going to go ahead and select D12, go to my keyboard and Control X to cut, move over to C12 and Control V to paste. Let's go ahead and fix Lakeland as well. Control X to cut, move it over to D12, Control V to paste. And we'll need to do the same thing for F12. Control X to cut, and E12, Control V to paste. All right. All right, let's continually correct our information. Down below in B16, it looks like Christopher Columbus's address and his last name got smushed together. Well, let's go ahead and let's see if we can cut and paste multiple cells. I'm going to start with C16 with my mouse pressed down and depressed, I'm going to also select D16. I'm going to go up to my clipboard and click Cut. Now, I just selected the city and the state. So I'm going to put my cursor inside D16 again so that my paste cells start with the city, and go up to paste. If you notice, it actually copied and pasted both of those cells over. I should say cut and paste. In cell 16, let's go ahead and just keep it simple. Let's just type 89 Trump Road. And let's move our cursor over to B16 and delete the address by selecting it and then clicking the delete on my keyboard. Let's scroll through the rest of our stuff. It looks like we've got a couple more messed up, but we're just going to leave them as is right now. We'll fix those as we go through our lesson. All right. All right. So we just learned how to create an Excel spreadsheet from a text file. Now let's go ahead and let's insert another worksheet by importing a file. So let's go ahead and click on the plus button down below. It creates another worksheet file. Now, of course, with this view, you could cut and paste from one workbook to this workbook, but there's a simpler way to copy files from a separate workbook and save it into yours. Let's go ahead and open up a brand new workbook. Let's go to File, Open. We're going to browse. Yours should be in your downloads since you downloaded it from our DAT shared folder. This time, we're actually going to open up a workbook called Sales and click Open. So now we have two workbooks open. I want to make sure that I have both files open, so I'm going to select the View tab, and I am going to select Switch Windows. By going to the View tab, you can easily go back and forth between the two files. So here's our customer list. I'm going to select Customer List, go up to Switch Windows, and I can go over to Sales. Let's go back. Switch Windows, go back to Customer List. This is a really handy tool, especially in the 2016 MOS exam, where you have to work with multiple worksheets. Okay? Now, I can also check that they both open for me by clicking on Arrange All. I click on Arrange All under the View tab, under the window group. We can arrange it tiled, horizontally, vertically, cascade, and windows of active workbooks. So let's go ahead and arrange them vertically. Click OK. Now, if you notice, I have both of them open side by side. So again, this is a great handy little tool so that if you needed to copy information from one worksheet over to another, you could do that. You could arrange them side by side. So for instance, I have my customer list over here. If we clicked on customers on the sales worksheet, if I needed to change the information, I could do that. I could easily cut and paste over, all right? Just to review, the way we did this is under the View tab, under Window, there's an Arrange All button. We click on Arrange All, we can also do it horizontally. Let's go ahead and change it to horizontal. Click OK. Now they're on top of each other, so we could easily scroll, select which workbook you want to work in, and scroll back and forth. Let's go back to our window, Arrange All, and let's do vertical and click OK. This is incredibly helpful when you're working with multiple worksheets. So we want to go ahead and take the sales worksheet from our brand new one and actually move it over to the worksheet that we just created with the customer list. So there's a couple ways to do this. Let's go ahead and click on the sales worksheet and let's right click on it. When you right click on the tab, it gives you an option to move or copy. Let's go ahead and click on move or copy. And we can select, we can keep it to book. So this is a sales workbook, or we could drop down and actually select the other book. Right now, our book is selected as customer list.text because that's the workbook that it opened. Let's go ahead and switch our books and let's move it to the end and click OK. What happened? Well, our sales worksheet moved from this workbook over to our new one. All right, so we're going to do the same thing that we just did with our sales worksheet with the farm equipment worksheet. So I'm going to click over on my sales workbook over here, and I'm going to select the farm equipment tab. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to change move or copy. And here, we don't want to keep it inside our current workbook. We actually want to copy it over to our other workbook, which I named as Minecraft Farm. So I'm going to select my other workbook. And I'm going to go ahead and move it to the end and click OK. So now, right now, I can only see farm equipment and sales. You notice in the bottom of your workbook, there's some arrows. If I click on the far left arrow, I can then move my tabs so I can see all of them. So you should have a customer list tab, a sheet 1, a sales, and then click on my arrow, and farm equipment. Let's go ahead and close this other workbook. So I'm going to click on this workbook here, our sales workbook, go up to File, Close, and do we want to change save changes? Click No. So I'm going to resize this workbook so that we can see all of it within the view of our window. The last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to insert an image into this workbook. So right now I have clicked on the farm equipment worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up and have my cursor inside A1. With my cursor inside A1, we can go ahead and insert an image there. I'm going to go to my Insert tab. And under the Insert tab, we can actually insert an image. You're going to go ahead and click on the illustrations, and there's an area to insert pictures. Go ahead and click on Pictures. It'll open up a dialog box so that we can find our file. Your file should be in your Downloads folder. And the one that we are looking for is called Farm Logo. When you find it, you're going to click on it and select Insert. Now, the farm logo went over our entire data, so we need to go ahead and resize a couple things. You can grab the lower right-hand corner of the picture and resize it and make it smaller. We can also go ahead and make row 1 larger by moving my cursor over to the gray area between rows 1 and 2 and dragging down. We want to make row 1 a little bit larger so that we can have our logo there. All right, once our logo is here, we're just going to leave it just like this. We're going to edit this in a different video. So right now your workbook should have farm equipment, sales, a blank sheet, and customer list. Let's go ahead and save the entire workbook as Minecraft Farm _ first last name. So we're going to go File, Save As, Browse, and you want to save into your Excel files in your DIT working. Now notice when this dialog box opens up, it's saving the type as a text file. We need to change this file type from a text to Excel workbook. So it should be named Minecraft Farm _ first last name, save as type Excel workbook, and click Save. It's been uploaded to our OneDrive, and now at this point, we can close this file and we can continue practicing in our geometrics. Great job.